Okay, so I've called this squeezing SEO juice from Google Analytics because basically, out the box, Google Analytics gives you some information, but the more you understand how to use it, the more you can glean from it, the more insights you can get from it. As explained, I'm Nikki Rae. I'm the founder of Future Insights. We're a customer experience analytics agency. So we're all about making things better for your customers, which will increase business for you. And the bottom line of this, or the backbone of this, is being able to use analytics tools to measure their experiences and improvement in their experiences. And today we're looking at SEO specifically. So what I'd like to give you today are 9 tips to get more out of Google Analytics to help build and inform your SEO campaigns. So there's 4 main reports that you will look at all the time in Google Analytics. So actually, can I get a feel for the room? Who has used Google Analytics before? Okay. And who uses it on a daily basis? Monthly? Weekly? Yeah, okay, so we've got a bit of range across the room. So I would assume that those that you use it are sort of familiar to some extent with these reports. So we have the set of audience reports, which you can see the list there. Are you acquiring the right people? So who are the people that are going to your site? Are you delivering what they actually want? Are they new people? Are they returning people? Are they people from Scotland and you're selling stuff in England? You know, are the people the right people in the first place that are going to your website? Acquisition, how did they get there? So today we're talking primarily about organic search. So that will be the main acquisition channel. Behaviour, so are you showing them what they wanted? So if they typed in green socks into a search engine, had they gone to a page about green socks, or have you taken them to a page about pink socks? Because if they bounced out the site from pink socks, it's probably because you didn't give them what they wanted or what they expected. And conversions, have they actually done what you wanted them to do? Do you even, in fact, know what you want people to do when they go to your site? E-commerce site, it may be simple. Well, we know that we want people to buy stuff, but how do they get to those items? How do they add more to the basket? How do they increase transaction value? So are they doing what you would like them to do? And these are things that we can get from Google Analytics. So, from an organic search perspective, do you know which reports, and I'm actually asking this out there, which reports you might look at in Google Analytics to get an idea about organic search? Acquisition, yep. So under acquisition, we have a couple of areas that are quite, I'd say, more obviously about organic search. And these are the search engine optimization area here, and organic keywords. So organic is your natural search. Most people will just go to those areas in Google Analytics to get an idea about what's informing their SEO campaign. But there are other areas you can go to get ideas for what people are looking for on your site, and also where they're going on your site, and which kind of keywords you should be or could be delivering for them in your SEO campaigns. So the first report we want to look at is under acquisition, and it's the channels report. And here you will be able to see how organic search is performing when compared with other channels. This is useful because obviously you want to be able to see which campaigns are the most effective. So if you found that your direct search had a lower bounce rate than your organic search, or your direct search or paid search had a higher conversion rate, you want to be able to study those channels to see what was happening in those instances that you could then push into your SEO campaigns. So for example, if you had direct traffic, which in general means somebody's typed in the web page into your search and into the browser and your sites come up, you can look at which page that was and then feed that back to your SEO campaign. So people are typing in directly for this specific page. What does this page sell? Should we push that into our SEO campaign and increase focus on those products? So if you are in the channels report, you can get further information about organic search by clicking on the organic search channel, which here is at the top. When you click on this, normally the highest keyword you see is not provided. Does anyone know what that means, or has anyone seen that before? So ideally what we're looking at here, under organic search keywords, are the keywords that somebody put into a search engine that took them to our site. But Google decided to make this a really difficult system to use a good few years back, 4 or 5 years, something like that. And they decided to not tell us what the keywords are anymore. And that's when their Don't Be Evil logo disappeared down the toilet as well. So yeah, not provided. So we don't actually know which keywords are sending people to our site. So how on earth can we inform our SEO campaigns with this blind, we're blind to this information? Well, here I want to show you some tricks. So tip number 1, if you click on not provided, so we've done acquisition, channels, clicked on organic search, clicked on not provided. Above each table, there's something called a secondary dimension. If you click on it and click on landing pages, it will show you the landing pages that people landed on through organic search. So whilst we don't know what somebody typed in, we don't know that they typed in pink socks, but if we know they landed on the pink socks page, we can make some sort of guess, insightful guess, that actually the keywords were probably something to do with pink socks. So our pink socks campaign is working to a certain extent. Here, this is my site, so I can see top 1, that / just means the home page. So somebody typed organically a word to get to my site. I don't know what it is because Google won't give me the information, but they landed on the home page. I'm still blind to that one. I don't know what they were looking for, but it's highly likely it could have been a brand search term because that will get people on the home page. But beyond that, analytics training, consultancy, contact is quite specific. It's quite informative as to the kinds of areas people are looking at or are interested in your site. Also, by the way, I'm not telling you necessarily how to do these things, but if you search them up on Google, it will tell you how to create these different things, and I'm happy to share the notes after, obviously. So you can also create an advanced segment which will show you just how people who've typed or who've come organically and you don't have the keywords, so the not provided people, how they behave across your site, so which pages they viewed. So again, whilst we don't know much information about them, tip number 2 means if we have this segment in place, so we've basically applied a segment to Google Analytics to only show us the not provided traffic, we can go into a report called a behaviour flow, and that will show us all the people that started on the home page and the page they went to next. So if you imagine, if we don't know what the keyword was and they landed on the home page, we have no idea what they were looking for. But if you look at the second page of their journey, that may give you some information as to what they were looking for. This also works for direct search and brand search as well. If somebody types you in directly, you don't necessarily know what they were looking for. And if somebody typed your brand name in, you don't know what they're looking for. But if you can look at the second page, it gives you some signal as to what they were looking for. The next report you can look at are your referral reports, and these are the list of reports that give you information about people who have come from other websites to your site. So they've got a link on their site that they followed and landed on your website. And quite often in that report you can get search engines that come up that Google doesn't really know about. So in the admin area, so here, up there, we've got the Search BT one. So what I've done down here is I've gone to the Search BT site, I've typed in Nikki, and up in the URL you can see P equals Nikki. So what we need to do is tell Google Analytics that when it sees that referral containing P equals, that the next word is the search term. And we could do that in the admin area of Google Analytics. So if you look over there, we've said the search engine is called BT. The domain name is search.bt.com, search.bt.com. The query parameter is P equals. And the path contains result. So here you can see it's search.bt.com/result. So now moving forward, as we've added this search engine to Google Analytics, those referrers will not show in the referral report, but will actually show in the organic search report, and you will know more about the keywords used. So it basically gives you more keywords to use for your campaigns. Tip number 4 is to look at your AdWords report. So who's running AdWords at the moment? One person. Okay, if you're feeling brave and you have some budget, you can run an AdWords campaign, which is the paid search side of Google. And you can have a look to see which kind of keywords bring your site up and people use to get to your website, which will give you a flavour for the kind of what we call long tail keywords that people use. So it'll give you an idea of different phrases that people use to find your products. Tip number 5 is to view the search engine optimization reports. And these are in Google Analytics, but you have to link them first. So I think John's going to talk about Search Console. So there's Google Search Console. Once you've linked that into Google Analytics, you can get this information. And what this is showing me is a list of keywords that people have typed into a search engine that have brought up a page from my site in the search engine results, how many times the page has been clicked, what the average position was, and what the click-through rate was. So I would look at this and go, okay, Google Analytics agency, that's fantastic, but I've had no clicks. Why have I had no clicks? Well, the average position, I think from here, is 25. So basically, if I can focus my SEO campaign on Google Analytics agency kind of keywords, presumably I can increase in SERPs, get more click-throughs, get more business from SEO. So this is basically giving you an idea for the keywords that Google already sees your site and pages within your site as having strength for. Hopefully, when you look at these, it will be stuff that relates to what you sell anyway, or what you offer. Tip 6 is to view site search reports. So those of you who have internal site search on your websites, somebody searches for something, they're speaking their language to find what they need. So if you sell shoes, you might have an SEO campaign that's talking about the colour of shoes or the material of shoes, suede shoes, etc. But you might find that a lot of people actually search by size, for example. So you might need an SEO campaign with keywords that are size related as opposed to colour or suede or leather, etc. So you can get an idea for how people, how your real users actually speak, and also whether they can find things on your site. Should they be using internal search if it's quite obvious where it is? Tip number 7, we have demographic reports in Google Analytics. Again, these need to be enabled, so you can look up on Google how to do that. But once they're enabled, you can get information about the kind of interests people have that go to your site. So in terms of content marketing, writing blog posts, if you want to attract a specific kind of audience that have interests that relate to you, you can have a look. And in this example here, we can see that 7% of people that come to the site are technophiles. Gives you an idea of the jobs categories they're in. This is actually a recruitment agency. It's their reports, so it's not unsurprising that that's why it's these kind of things. But then under that, you've got TV lovers, movie lovers, travel buffs. So if you wanted to arrange competitions and things like that, you could look, well, maybe a Netflix subscription or something like that could be a good prize for somebody. Tip number 8, view the behaviour reports. So in Google Analytics, we also have behaviour reports, which if you look for on the left, you can click on content drill down, and this will give you the directory that people were looking at when they went to your site. So here, on the top one, you could see the majority was the homepage. Then after that, most people were looking at contact, then analytics training. If you have e-commerce sites, you might find that it's split by tables, chairs, evening wear, etc., etc. So it gives you an idea for where the most interest lies. Tip number 9, still in the site content report, you can go to all pages. If you look at the top of the below diagram, you can see there's an arrow pointing to page title. If you click on page title, that will give you the name of the pages as opposed to the file name of the pages. And this is still quite useful for SEO, but it also gives you an idea of the kind of pages, again, that people are looking at, what kind of content they're looking at the pages, what's coming up top here, particularly if you're selling products and services. But also, are there opportunities where, like number 5 is not set, where you haven't actually set a title tag in Google Analytics, in your website on those pages, which could help your SEO performance. So finally, that was very brief, but there's 9 tips for you to take away. So find the landing page of the not provided keywords. Find the flow of the user. So if they get to your site without you knowing how they got there, where did they go next? Add extra search engines if you have the opportunity. Use AdWords to get more search queries. Use the search engine optimization reports, which John will talk about more, for keywords versus ranking versus click-through potential. View the keywords that are used for your internal site search. View demographic interest report to find out what people are interested in that go to your site. Use the content drill down and page titles to see what kind of things people are looking at, which kind of keywords are attracting them in terms of HTML on your page. And that's it. Thank you very much.